This is Manchester United for a solid hour, which means United fans will be listening, but I guarantee there'll be fans across the world from other clubs tuning in as well to see what we've got to make of what happened on Tuesday night. I was wondering how to start this show. I don't really still know how to start this show, except for the fact that I want you to have your say. 0345 111 7625. Manchester United are out of the Champions League. The Premier League is out of reach, and it looks like the FA Cup is the only thing United can get their hands on at the end of the season. So where did it all go wrong on Tuesday? Mourinho, is he to blame? The manager? Sanchez, Pogba, Fellaini? Who knows? You do. You know why you think United are out of the Champions League. So do give us a call, 0345 111 7625. As you can imagine, it's going to be a bit busy, so get your calls in nice and early and we'll get you on throughout the show. Jay and Gaz join me this evening. I mean, gentlemen, how are we? We okay?
Yeah, so.
Lovely to have you on, Jay. Gaz, you're back again. We got Andy Tate straight away. We'll get to Andy Tate. He's not messing about. We are 2 minutes in. Andy Tate's on the line. Stay there, Andy. We'll get to you soon. A quick recap then for you guys. Tuesday night comes. The final whistle goes. United are out of the Champions League. The thoughts going through your head?
Mate, it's going to be like an hour of therapy, this show. I'm properly looking forward to it. Honestly, it was just a purely dejected. I couldn't believe how we'd set up, and for the start of the game, the team that we'd put out, and then the style of play that we came out with. I thought, after the result that we'd got from the first leg, is this really how we're going to play? And you could see it coming. You could see we didn't look like necessarily scoring. And then in the second half, when they got a goal, you just you knew how it was going to go down, and you knew that we probably didn't have enough in us to actually put the effort in and come back, because that was the major problem for me. It was the effort of some of those players out there. I mean, obviously, the majority of the blame goes on Mourinho, without doubt. I'll fully say that.
The majority of the blame goes on Mourinho.
Yeah, but mate, there's other players, and I don't want to pick out specific players.
You got to pick out specific players.
There is one that I'm going to, because I think he's the best player in the team, and it's Paul Pogba. I criticised him for it last week, but the guy mopes around the pitch at times, man. He's the best player in this team, and it seems to be that he's one of those guys that has had it all going his way his career, and whenever it's not gone his way, he's sulked and threw his toys out the pram. It happened the first time at United, and Fergie went, right, you've not got the right mentality, you can get out of the club. He's gone at Juventus, everything's gone great for him, so it's all going great, and that's why he's proven himself to be one of the best in the world. He comes back to United, he's gone through a period now where maybe him and Jose aren't on perfect terms. He's having youth team players start above him. He's come back from an injury, he's in a negative mind frame, and he doesn't want to put in the effort to sort of get himself out of that rut. And it annoys me, and the reason why I pick him out is because he's brilliant and because he's probably the best player in our team. But if he's not going to put any effort in, man, I can't be bothered.
Jay?
I mean, the thing with Pogba is, I get where you're coming from, but he didn't start that game. The team that started should have been enough to beat Seville, if we're being completely honest. And he has missed only a couple of games through injury, but he came on. He didn't look like he was at the races. But I feel the thing with Pogba is, when he plays okay, people laud him as some sort of messiah, and when he has a bad game, people say all the ills of the team are his fault. And when you look at the team that was put out there, the starting 11, that should have been enough. I think Jose took a bit of a gamble with Fellaini, maybe Ashley Young after we played just after a few days after marking Mo Salah. That was a bit of a funny one. But I thought the team, even though it wasn't a team I'd have picked, I thought that we had enough quality in there, especially our front four, to really get at him, and we did for about 27 seconds, and then it all just went to like we were defending. I mean, I didn't feel great before going into the game after the 0-0 over in Spain. I thought that wasn't the result that everyone was making it out to be.
Exactly, yeah.
We needed that away goal and we didn't get it.
Right, so producer Chris told me to make sure that we have a switch up between positive and negative callers. You've got to make sure that this is a nice balanced show. But I've got 4 absolutely negative comments in. So if you're a United fan at home and you've got a positive attitude about what happened on Tuesday and you want to share the positivity, we need you in this hour. Come on, get in touch. We need you. 0345 111 7625. Otherwise, it's going to be a long show with a lot of moaning.
Positive? We can watch.
I don't know. Andy Tate, good evening.
Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening.
Talk to us, Andy Tate. Jose Mourinho.
I've bit my tongue for 2 days.
It's a first.
Believe me, like a lot of United fans, including my dad, it's time to start questioning him. Now, I do believe he's the right man for the job, without a doubt, but if you want to succeed, he has to evolve now. And his attitude and his comments on Tuesday night, I sat here as manager of Porto, Inter, Real Madrid, sorry, and I'll sit here, nothing changed, nothing new. That's stunk.
Crazy comments that. For me personally, I thought the whole thing, what he said there, Andy, and to the gentleman in the studio, crazy comments. Why did he say it?
That's what he does, though, Mourinho, doesn't he? He says whatever he's thinking. He was obviously disappointed. It was a spur of the moment just after the game. We've seen it with Fergie storming out a press conference in Europe. I'm not justifying what he said. It was a bit of a silly thing to say, but I think it's been blown out of proportion. I'm not really bothered what he said. I'm more bothered about the team that he put out and the fact it didn't win.
Sorry, man. I'm sorry, guys. No. This is borderline David Moyes comment. That is
It is a David Moyes comment.
Can I just say, would Pep Guardiola, now just listen to that, but no, would he say we could never be Barcelona, we will always be a small man City? How would City fans react to that? Or Klopp say something like that about Liverpool, about his team? How would the fans feel?
Andy, I'm completely with you. I agree that his comments were well out of order. And what the weird thing is about it as well is that that's his line of communication with the fans, isn't it? You know, he knows that the fans, and he's come straight after the game and he's seen how the crowd's feeling about what they've just seen, and it's his chance to sort of put a few things right. And
also
go on. No, go on, Andy.
No, you two dead polite to each other.
He also complains, guys, about the atmosphere in the ground and the crowd is not up for it. Well, Tuesday night, we didn't see anything. The crowd wasn't up for it. All we see was on the pitch. And this season, we have not been entertaining at all. We're getting the results, yeah, but I have not come home from a match with my dad and said, boy, that was a fantastic game. That was a great game. No, not been entertained for value for money this season. All right.
I mean, the Liverpool game was all right, to be fair, Andy.
Yeah, well, for 20 minutes.
Yeah, how can you go from the Liverpool game, though, Gaz, to a defeat like that when we should be winning?
Not defending the guy. Not defending the guy. Well, though, can we just going back to them comments as well? As a bit of an expert of putting his own foot in his mouth, I feel like I can comment on them, right? Because when you say something like that and you realise straight away after you've said it, what have I just said there? And you go back and try and rectify what you've just done, the damage that you've just done. Jose's done none of that.
No.
So I think that he meant what he said and he don't say anything wrong with it.
To be honest with you, though, he's got form for it. And when he was at Madrid, he upset all the Madrid fans by saying the best team lost. When they got a result at Old Trafford. So we know throughout the years that Jose, he's got a fondness for saying these sort of comments. He does upset people. We knew what we were getting with Jose Mourinho. This is what I'm saying. This is what I've been saying to people. We were never going to have expansive, entertaining football. We were going to win trophies, hopefully, and he has done that so far and get results. This season, we could still win the FA Cup. I don't think it's been the disaster that everyone's making out. Yes, Tuesday night was abysmal and it wasn't good enough, and his comments were a bit out of order. But I think that come Saturday, if we win against Brighton, it'll almost be forgotten about.
So, Andy, Sanchez,
I'm going to cut him some slack here because he really is. He's come in mid-season and he still doesn't know his best position, and it's down to the manager again. It really is.
Andy.
Yeah, I know. Almost signing Sanchez. I'm not saying. Don't worry. I'm not going to be one of those guys who comes out after a couple of months and says we should never have signed him. However, it does, like, when you're looking at the team now and some of the players that are being left out. You know, players like, I know he's got a few games recently, but Marcus Rashford in recent weeks, Anthony Martial as well, because Sanchez is playing on that left-hand side, and you're thinking, like, I thought when we signed him, I thought there's no way we're going to play him on the left. Surely. There's no way he's just getting straight above Anthony Martial and Marcus Rashford, but he is. And if that was the case, I just don't know why we've done it.
Andy Tate, thank you very much, legend, for giving us a call. From Andy Tate, we're going to go to Alex. Alex, you okay, mate?
Yeah, hello there.
I'm I was going to say I'm very well, but you never asked me if I'm all right. So Alex, talk to us about your thoughts after the game and what you're making of the whole situation.
Well, I mean, the game on Tuesday doesn't really need any more than what Andy said, to be honest. It was abysmal. I mean, the performance was dreadful. Why Mickey Mouse started in the middle, I don't know. And, you know, because he's been out for 4 months injured, and I know Jose's always gone on about how he's a Mourinho player, but he's been out for 4 months. Scott McTominay's been playing well. Juan Mata's been playing well. And he still goes ahead and puts Fellaini in front of them. And I can't understand it. Now, the whole time Jose's been with us, I've defended him. I've said, You know, he's the right man. He's made a couple of mistakes, but every manager does. They're humans at the end of the day. But I can't understand that decision. There's nothing about Tuesday that you can defend about Mourinho. And then to put the icing on the disgusting cake, he said what he said after the game.
There's got to be, Alex, I'll ask you another question in a second, but I just want to ask people at home who are listening and people who are watching around the world, is anyone out there see Fellaini on the starting sheet and think, yeah, good decision, Mourinho? If there's anyone out there that thought starting Fellaini in a Champions League game ahead of McTominay and Pogba, if there's anyone out there that thought that was a good idea, give us a call, message in, tweet us, whatever. So we want to find someone.
You're just inviting City fans to call.
Yeah, I'm very much just inviting City fans. Alex, talk to us then about Paul Pogba. When you see him on the pitch, you've paid a lot of money for this man, £89 million, and he doesn't look too bothered.
I think part of the problem is when he had that injury, I mean, we've always seen it with Paul Pogba. He was like it at Juventus a little bit as well. When he gets an interruption to good form, he tends to throw all of his toys out of the pram and then give up for the rest of the season. And that's not good enough, basically. No. You know, he's wearing the shirt of the biggest club in the world. And I do like Paul Pogba because when he's playing well, we can all agree he is pretty much unstoppable. Just look at the game against Arsenal before he got sent off. You know, he was tearing it up. And he's got that quality, but it's just the thing is, if he comes off of the bench and he's got that quality, but he doesn't bring that quality to life, and instead he just plays as if he's out on the park and he runs around. Well, he doesn't even run half the time. You know, it's not good enough, and it makes you wonder, should he really be even on the bench? If he can't be bothered, what's the point?
If he can't be bothered, what is the point? Alex, thank you very much for your call there. Always get in touch. If you've never called before, give us a call now. It's your first time. Have your say. It is like therapy in a weird way.
It is. Yeah, very
you
cathartic.
come on and you get your comments out and you get stuck into a fanzine. We're going to go to Mohammed now, who wants to talk about Tuesday. The wrong tactics, Mohammed. Mohammed, are you there? Hello, you're on. Are you well?
Yeah, mate, you alright?
I'm very well, Mohammed. Talk to us then. The wrong tactics from Mourinho.
It's just, I mean, we were at home, right? It was 0-0 on aggregate. And from the start, you could see Mourinho's tactics were just to sit back and absorb pressure. And there was just, and when we were attacking, there was just no, ruthlessness or any, speed or anything to try and attack. I just felt like Mourinho was a bit scared and a bit worried about Sevilla, which is just baffling, to be honest.
What would you have done then, Mohammed? Obviously, you'd say you might have gone to Sevilla and got more than a 0-0, but would you just gone at them from the get-go at Old Trafford?
No, I would not gone all-out attack, but I'd have understood that, you know, the Champions League, last 16, they're at home, 75,000 fans in front of us, you know. Just want to give it a go, you know what I mean? Just go for it.
One for all of us in the studio then, the best man on the pitch on Tuesday.
I was going to go back to that because you mentioned about positives, trying to bring up positives. Romelu Lukaku can come off that pitch holding his head high, man. Yeah. I mean, I think after the Newcastle game, I started questioning, is he quite that world-class player that we need to go forward? I completely go back on that. I think he's looked brilliant in recent weeks, and especially when the rest of the team can't be bothered.
The one thing you can't say about Lukaku is that he doesn't care. You can see how passionate he is. You can see when he celebrates. You can see he's giving it his all. You know, he was running all over the pitch when he got his goal. He's grabbing the ball. He's geeing up the crowd, geeing up the players around him. Yes, there's flaws to his game. His touch can let him down sometimes, but I think he has improved all round. His all-round game's improved a lot since he came to Old Trafford, and he cared. You can see he cared. Obviously, he's been waiting to play in the Champions League. He gets in the Champions League, and this is how he's knocked out of it. He wasn't happy, and I think, you know, if all the players had his sort of attitude and effort, it would have been a different story on Tuesday night.
Yes, Mohammed, your player of the match?
For me, it's Lukaku, you know. To be honest, he was the only one going for it, and he was making runs, and there was no service to him, nothing.
Nothing was coming, and you can say that, Lukaku. Thank you very much, Mohammed, for your call. Get your phone, get your number in now, 345 111 7625. Like I was saying to you before, after I did my fan cam for Full Time Devils, someone just came up to me and just shouted the phone number in my face. 0345 111 7625. Never forget it. Call in if you've never called in before. It was hard to find positives, but why is it, if you're a football player, Jay, and you're in the Champions League, you're at home to 75,000 people, they should be on your side, the momentum. Why is it that some the players just didn't look a bit bothered? They need to have that spirit, don't they, Jay?
I don't know whether it was a tiredness after the games they played, or some of them are coming in for the first time for a little while. I don't know if it was they just felt that they were a bit complacent because they thought the opposition weren't all that. I think it might have been a different story if we were facing a Barcelona or a Real Madrid. But it was a weird setup because we went for it at first and we seemed to sit back. It was almost like we were sitting on a lead already when we weren't. I don't get that. I don't get why we didn't go for it, because even if we'd have got a goal, you wouldn't have felt comfortable, because if they get an equaliser, they're through. So I wanted us to get them and try and get a couple of goals, and it literally took 2 goals from them to get us going. By the time they scored 2, then we sort of thought, oh, hang on a minute, we're going to crash out here. And we went at him, and when we went out and we scored, and it was a shame that we didn't do that in the first minute. Or, well, we did briefly in the first minute. Saying we didn't do that for the rest of the game. We waited far too long to get going, and by that time, it was all over. So in answer to your question, I don't know how any player can go and play for United and not give his all in the Champions League. I don't think it's necessarily players not caring. I think it's players probably thinking, even up until the point where they scored their first goal, we'll be all right here, we'll get, we can still bounce back. And then when the second one went in almost straight away after, then they realised they're in trouble, and it was just too late.
Zishan, come and have your say about the game on Tuesday. Are you there, mate?
Yeah, I'm here, man.
Right, so tell us about Jose Mourinho's man management.
No, because if you look at the media, a lot of the people complain about Mourinho and Pochettino. They look at the similarities and stuff. Pochettino is known for man management. He can get his players together when they're losing. Look, they lost Kane on the weekend, right? And they end up scoring 4 goals regardless, right? Mourinho is not like that. He's never been known for that. He's known for tactics, right? But on Tuesday, he had no tactics. I don't know what he did. He put Rashford on the opposite side of the pitch. I don't know what he was trying to expect from that. And then he put Fellaini on the pitch. McTominay, right? One person I didn't have a lot of hope in, just blew me away in the last few games. He should have played regardless. He should have been on the pitch. I was vexed because we deserve to be in the Champions League. We're that sort of club where we shouldn't be missing out on it in the round 16. We're not Arsenal or Liverpool. We're not that team that goes, we're going to get it next season. We're not Arsenal where we just get out the top 6, round 16. I was vexed.
I mean, there's United fans out there, Zishan, that would be, vexed as well. I can't see what got me about the comments that Mourinho made afterwards. He said there's nothing new for the club. So if we're in this position, it's a bad comment. If we're in this position this time next year, is he going to say the same thing again? If we get knocked out of the final 16, he's going to go, well, I was here last year, they were here 2 times before that. It's nothing new for United. You can't. United as a brand, United as someone, has many fans around the world, you can't be putting up with something like that from a manager.
No, right. As frustrated I am with the comments myself, it's a one-off. He's not said anything that outrageous. Like he said, I agree with what Andy said. That was just as bad as anything that David Moyes has said. But David Moyes didn't get sacked for saying the wrong things.
Yeah,
he got sacked for awful football and awful results as well. Yeah. Mourinho's only halfway there. So. Look, this time next year, if we're in the same position, Jose's going to be in a lot of trouble. But we're not going to get rid of Jose this year unless we drop out the top 4. I think it'll be a silly thing to do just because there's no options out there, really. I don't think people are saying Pochettino. Really? Have we seen enough, really?
I don't know. Before the break, we go to Jonathan in Belfast. Jonathan, how are you doing, mate?
Not too bad.
Tell us about Fellaini.
Fellaini, to me, I don't see how anybody can blame Fellaini on anything at the moment. He's a player. Mourinho picks him and he starts. What are you meant to do? You play. If it was you start, you play, you try your best. I just think it was negative tactics from the start. Who sets up defensively, get into the second leg of a home tie on a knockout stage in the Champions League and not set up to press the team? You know what I mean? You see defensive midfielders starting there. I just didn't understand it. I went to the game myself, and the atmosphere after about 20 minutes just sort of died down. They could see the play. It was passing side to side, backwards. But I don't see how you can put the blame on Fellaini himself. I can't see into that at all. If the manager picks him, he plays. What can you do?
No, I get what you mean, and I know what you mean. You're going to get picked, you're going to play. Do you just look at him and think, could have put a bit more effort in, or did you see a player with a lot of commitment?
I just don't. I don't think he played well. I don't think any of the team played well. The team played bad from the start. So they didn't seem to want the attack and go forward. At one stage, when I looked, Fellaini was up front and Lukaku was further back. And when we lost the ball, it was just Fellaini himself wasn't running back. He just went in the light jog to come back. So I didn't see loads of effort from the players. Yeah. I didn't know whether they were just sitting back hoping to nick a win. To me, it was just a lackluster performance. It didn't get the setup and what he was trying to achieve.
I know, and it was bizarre as well. And like you were saying, some players were playing out of position in a way. You could take snapshots of certain moments of the game and you wonder, why is he there? And why is Lukaku there? And why is Rashford over there? And you go, have they got any direction of where they want to go? We've got to take a quick break. But guys, you got some comments coming in
just one
thick and fast.
Just one quick comment there about Fellaini. I've lost the guy's name now, but he said it's not Fellaini's fault. Mourinho's the one who picked him, and it's like why I was criticising Pogba before, and I probably won't criticise Fellaini. It's because Fellaini's rubbish, and we all know he's rubbish, and it's not an effort thing. Pogba's brilliant. We all know he's brilliant. He just can't be bothered. That's what annoys me.
Right, gentlemen, we've got to take a quick break. Only a couple of minutes, and we'll be back. Get your calls in now. If you've tried and you've not got through, I do recommend you try again, because you can imagine a lot of people trying to have their say, but as you can see, we try and get through as many. 0345 111 7625. Nearly forgot my own catchphrase there. Listen, what we want from you is the MEN wrote an article saying that defeat on Tuesday was the worst since Fergie left. Was it actually that bad since Fergie left? Was this the worst defeat you've seen since Fergie decided to leave Old Trafford? Let us know your thoughts. We'll be back right after this. The Football Social, the Full-Time Devils take over. 5 callers in the first section. Let's get even more on. 0345 111 7625. Ben and Ryan, thank you very much for staying on hold. We'll get to you very shortly. Talking about Fergie, since Fergie left, is that the worst result on Tuesday? We'll get to them, the points from Jay and Gaz very soon, but let's go to Ben. Evening, Ben, you okay?
Hi guys, how are you?
Very well, Ben. Now talk to us about Tuesday night.
I'm one of the, I think, very few that thinks it wasn't exactly disastrous, and I think I kind of understand the reasoning for Mourinho's tactics. We've had a lot of, I'd say chronic underinvestment under our owners since Ferguson, really, and if you look at our back line, it's basically a bunch of Fergie cast-offs that Mourinho has to protect by playing defensively and playing counter-attacking football. Because if we are to attack, as you see with Ben Yedder, on the break, we get caught so easily and people score against us. So I think Mourinho's forced slightly into the tactics that he plays. It is part of his mantra. But that is a big issue, I think.
I get what you mean. He is. I mean, you can say underinvestment, guys. And I know he spent a lot on.
I know.
He spent a lot on players.
I'm shaking my head.
You've got to admit, we've got 2 players who Fergie bought as midfielders, now are wing backs.
Yeah, well,
and that's underinvestment for a defensive point of view. Maybe they're buying the wrong players. Do you not just think they're buying the players that will sell shirts, and make the club money?
Go along with that, yeah. But it's not underinvestment.
I don't agree with that. I think if you look at City, they were lucky enough to buy their attacking players when the market wasn't inflated. And Manchester United have bought the top players as the market's been inflated, and that's why it sort of distorted the amount that we spend. People look at the amount, but not necessarily the quality that you bring in for that amount.
Is that not our own fault then? Is that not our own? Is that not Jose's fault? Jose's had his chance to buy players, and he knows where we need to strengthen. And he spent all the money in places that we maybe didn't need it as much. I mean, we all knew before the season that we maybe could have done with a defender, and we definitely could have done with a fullback. It's not just that, though, is it? He's not playing defenders that he should be playing. Yeah. He said Luke Shaw was the best left back in the league, and then he's not played him since. Yeah. We loan out Timothy Fosu-Mensah, who can do his job at right back. Exactly. And then we're playing Antonio Valencia there and complaining that he's not doing a job. So it's like we've got the players, and we've got players that are available, but he's not picking them. I don't even think it's necessarily a case of he needs to go out and spend loads of money. I just think he needs to start giving players that can play in those positions the chance to play there. So in the summer, Ben, do you spend more money on defence than attack?
In terms of defence, I think we need a centre-back and a left-back. That's all I would say that we need, and we need to get rid of Deadwood that is in our defence. But I think Timothy Fosu-Mensah, that's a great point. Same as Axel Tuanzebe. They come in and they fill our squad up with both academy players that understand the way that we need to play. But really what we need to look at is our centre midfield in the summer.
so that we're not easy to break through and we have options, because at the moment Fellaini is really our only other option. Say Pogba's just come back from injury and you've got McTominay. Yes, he should really have played in my view, but other than that we don't really have any options that fit to play.
Yeah, Ben, thank you very much. Ben, I've got to admit, I know Gaz was a bit worried, but you are talking sense there, Ben, and he's making a lot of good comments about what we're underinvesting in the back four. I think Ben is core of the night so far. Ben, let's see what Ryan is talking about. The atmosphere at Old Trafford, the 12th man, Ryan. What was it like? Not good?
Evening, guys. Evening,
mate. Ryan.
Yeah, I just want to talking about the atmosphere at Old Trafford. I mean, it's a Champions League match, and we was just flat from minute one. I can't believe it. This is like we're the biggest club in the world, and you're telling me that was a Champions League atmosphere. It was so flat. Why can't Old Trafford be that cauldron that it once was?
You've got a very good point here, Ryan. I was sat next to the Seville fans, and I can't tell you how mad they sounded for 90 minutes. They sound like they practice outside of football, though. I think they must get around Tony's house and give it like, and then because they all knew what to do in the same time.
Choreograph.
Like a Kylie Minogue routine that you would have seen at Gorilla last night. Anyway, right, is there anything you can see? Is it Mourinho getting the players to perform in a way that gets the crowd going?
I mean, the manager obviously doesn't help. The crowd need lifting, and not once did the crowd get lifted. Sideways. And I just wanted to tell you guys, the game against Palace, and more importantly, Crystal Palace, they're the only, club that have got that sort of like ultras, that section
the big
of
cheering crowd, yeah.
And they are bouncing, and they've almost got a result against us. They've made an average team. Like Selhurst Park is a very, very difficult place to come to because of that. And I just want, why can't we be that,
Well, we've had this debate, Gaz, a lot on the show. Ryan, thank you very much for your call. He's got a great point there. We've had it a lot about why can't people get up for it. The debate will continue until the club do something, Jay.
I mean, the thing is, it's like the chicken and egg. Is it the football that's making the fans?
It's very much like that.
Is it the fans that's not making the footballers get up for it? I mean, to be honest with you, it's difficult when you're watching boring football against a team that you should be tearing apart to really get going and to sort of get behind the team. There's no excuses. We should always get behind the team. But then we saw it only a few days earlier. I know it's Liverpool. You're always going to be up for Liverpool. But let's not forget, I mean, one of the best atmospheres for a season I saw at Old Trafford was when Moyes was in charge. I thought the atmosphere then, actually, funnily enough, was great. But, we've had quite a few seasons now of football that hasn't been brilliant. Yeah. And I think it does take its toll on you as a fan. You go in there and you're expecting, it's Seville, we should beat these. Not turning up, and then it's difficult to not vent your frustration, and even your frustration might be being a bit quiet and being silent. It's difficult to keep getting up for it when you're just not seeing what you deserve on the pitch. And we've had Van Gaal, Moyes, and now Mourinho as well. It's not always been the sort of football that we've been used to.
No, you're right there. Do get your calls in because we've got a queue, but if you've been trying and you can't get through, 0345 111 7625. Promise we'll get you on if we can towards the end of the show. The next caller hopefully isn't going to swear, but Gaz is winding you up, Adam.
Go on, Adam, tell me. Come on, Adam, tell me what to tell me.
Guys, I've had you and Dave today winding me up.
I saw the Dave clip, and Adam's words were, "Don't you be whipping a stat out me, Dave," and he just got him shot.
Yeah, I tell Dave, we're talking about the performance. I go to Dave, Fellaini weren't good enough. Look, it's not all Fellaini's fault. I don't want to scapegoat Fellaini here. And he's like, Fellaini had more shots than anyone. I'm like, who cares? It's not good enough. Do you know what I mean? You can always get a stat that will skew someone's performance level. But if you're at the game, and Dave was at the game, it wasn't that far from me. And I don't know how he could say that was a good performance. But nevertheless, how can Gaz come out here and say, what was the problem on Tuesday? Paul Pogba. The man played 15, 20 minutes. Now,
mate, the first goal was directly his fault, and it's happened loads in recent weeks where it's been him who's had to mark his man and just slumping about. Can't be bothered.
Let him speak.
Yeah, so how can you blame Pogba, when he's been on for 20 minutes? I would be frustrated, if Fellaini started ahead of me. McTominay, why didn't he start? Okay, forget Pogba. Why ain't McTominay starting? Why did we start a player? This is why so much frustration has been placed at Fellaini's door. Why did we start a player that has just come back from injury, hasn't signed a contract that was put on his table from last year, doesn't want to be at this club, and We're starting him in the biggest game of the season. That was where my frustration got with him. And he just let the game pass him by. He didn't try to do anything. It was crazy. But never mind Fellaini. It wasn't all his fault. It was the manager's fault. The team selection on the day was awful. And you've got to say, the players are going to probably have a response to the team selection as well, knowing that half of our best players are on the bench. Alexis Sanchez isn't performing at the moment. Why isn't he being dropped? Why isn't he being held to the same standard as everybody else? McTominay, why isn't he keeping his spot in the team? It's just tearing it up. And we've changed the team. Jose Mourinho isn't helping himself. He keeps chopping and changing the team. I don't know what's going on with Pogba. Is he holding a grudge with him? Is he not? We need to start settling on a team. And I agree with that Ben chap as well. Gaz laughed at him when he said underinvestment. But it's true. You can't excuse the result on Tuesday for underinvestment. We had enough to win that game. But over the long term, the Glazers' underinvestment in Manchester United and Sir Alex Ferguson covering up for them has ultimately led to Manchester United's team being imbalanced. We've had 3 managers buying all their players, and I actually think Jose Mourinho's signings have been pretty good. But when we sold Ronaldo, we got Obertan and Owen. City have been signing all these players, and we've been shifting Valencia in at right back. Ashley Young was a good left winger about 10 years ago. He's our left back now.
Yeah,
and I know
it's true.
Put in a performance. I know he'll put in a performance every now and then when you ask him to track back and stick with Salah. He's going to do it because he's that kind of lad, but he's not a left back.
Well, why not play Maka? Why not play your best left back then? We all agree that Luke Shaw is the best left back. Mourinho's even said that. So why not start playing the best players for the best position? Why are we putting these square pegs in round holes? It doesn't make any sense to me.
The manager is baffling with selection. And then you look at the atmosphere. The atmosphere at Premier League level has been poor for years. But you would never expect an atmosphere in a Champions League game to be poor. Mm-hmm. And I kind of feel the team selection and the team attitude and the team performance didn't help. We tried to get going at the start, and when you just get grinded down and more frustrated by the performance, and it should have got changed after half an hour. Jose Mourinho didn't change it, and he's to blame for that.
Well, Adam, let me just bring you just stay there for us a second, Adam. I got Ben on the line now. Ben, you've got a thing to say about Jose Mourinho.
I just think basically he's not the right man for Manchester United whatsoever. He was at Madrid. The fans didn't want him there because of his style of play. That was a disgrace on Tuesday night. We were playing Seville. He set the team out. What are we defending? It's 0-0. We should have gone out there 4-4-2. Bossed them. Do you know what I mean? I've been watching United for 20 years. I'll tell you one thing now. If De Gea wants to go in the summer, they should just let him go because he's rotting away at our club.
Who'd you have instead of Jose?
I'd have Carlo Ancelotti tomorrow, all day, every day. Attack. That's what Manchester United are. We're 4-4-2. Do you know what I mean? That's the way we play. And like now, what you tell me, lad? I was at the game on Tuesday. What was his game plan? What were we defending? It's
got a good point.
That's what I never understood.
Yeah,
that's what confused me. I mean, after the first leg, everyone was raving about what a good result it was. I was confused. I thought this is not a good result at all. Going in this
when I went to the game and I've seen the lineup, and like I just thought, what are they doing? What are they defending? Like, where are they going to? We had 4 shots in 3 hours of in 2 games. Do you know what I mean? 4 shots on goal. They're 11 points behind 4th place in the Spanish league. And they always talk about Pogba. He's not injured. He's not injured at all. Obviously, he's pissed, he's upset because they bought him and they're not playing him in his right position. They played him once in their position against Chelsea. Look what he done. He bossed the show.
I hate to say this, and I don't. I feel like I'm the only one slagging him off, and I don't want that to be the case at all because I do like Paul Pogba. But just because you're being played in the wrong position doesn't mean you shouldn't give absolutely everything for Man United. I mean, you've got players like that Adam's listed before who maybe aren't quite good enough, but you can't knock their effort. Ashley Young being played out of position. Tony Valencia at first when he started playing at right back, he was still putting everything into it.
Position.
I don't want players. I don't want players that whenever things go wrong for them are just going to throw in the towel and think, I can't be bothered. I want players who actually want to perform for United. It's like us lot in the studio right now. You could stick us in any position at United. We'd give everything for it.
Do you think that though, guys? Because I thought Pogba, I don't think he didn't care. I think he does care. I think he was trying. I just think he had a bad game. He was off the pace and he didn't do the job he should have done. I don't think he got on the pitch and thought, I don't want to win this game now. I don't want to go through to the Champions League quarterfinals. I don't think that's the case at all. I just think he had a bad game. I don't think it is a case of any player going out there and saying, I'm not going to do it. I think it's a mixture of complacency and getting played out of position and also perhaps not being match fit as well. There was a few players there that shouldn't have started that game. I think we can all agree. But when I looked at the front four as well, the disappointing thing for me for that front four is you'd think with Sanchez, with Rashford, with Lukaku, with Lingard, we would have tested their keeper a lot more than we did. But like you're saying, the caller's saying, we were just too defensive.
Yeah, I've got to say, Ben.
Too defensive.
Yeah, too defensive, Ben. I thought you got some good points there about what Mourinho's plan was at the start of the game. Do you actually feel he will go, or will he be at United for another couple of seasons if he still plays this way?
You know what it is? He'll stay, yeah, but I don't want him to stay, and I think the majority. Obviously, we have to support Manchester United. I always listen to you,
not the majority. Well, he's not said that yet.
I listen to Levy. We're supporting. If you're going to support Mourinho, then you're supporting that style of play. That's the way it is, and that is not our style of play. And you can look back. It ain't 2003 no more when he went to Chelsea and everyone had to. They know, like, every single team that comes to us, he shows them so much respect, as if we're playing Madrid or Barca every time. We should have. Imagine if we had Fergie. All right, we can't keep going back to Fergie, but we would have bossed them over two legs. It's 4-4-2 attack. We're at Old Trafford.
There wasn't always. There was some bad results under Fergie. I remember Basel, things like Benfica. There was a few stinkers under Fergie as well.
Can I just say one thing, my friend?
Yeah,
sorry, just one last thing. You know when Mourinho, when he comes out afterwards and he's got the audacity to come out and say, I knocked Manchester United twice. I wish one of them reporters had a bit about them where they could say, all right then, mate, let's compare when you knocked us out with Madrid to this game against Seville, the shots, the possession, and the team that we're playing.
Yeah, I think there's definite difference
Ben, we're going to have to take a quick break. But Ben, caller of the night for me, to be fair. Absolutely smashed it there. I've got to go take a quick break. Listen, it'll only be 2 minutes, then we get callers on. We'll talk about Brighton. Thank you very much, Ben, for giving your call. And Adam as well. We lost Adam accidentally, but it was always good to have him.
Good comment here on YouTube. Someone says, who's this Adam guy? Should get him involved in the channel more often.
Oh, should do, Chris. You heard him.
The Excess Manchester.
The office lights have gone off. We're the only ones here still moaning about football. This is Excess Manchester. This is about Excess. It's a great station. You should listen to it. If you like indie music, you like Clint Boone, listen, 106.1 FM. And online, we are talking about Manchester United. We had someone on before asking for Mourinho's head, and we want positive comments. So we've got Imad on the phone. Are you right, mate?
Hi, mate. You okay? I'm not too bad yet.
Yeah. Well, you answered your own question then. You said, are you okay? Oh, yeah, I'm all right. Talk to us about Jose Mourinho.
First and foremost, obviously, I've had a couple of days to rethink and recover, really, because it was a shambles of a performance.
Yeah.
But, looking at the bigger picture, we are better than we've been since, Alex Ferguson left. Most, if not all, of the players have improved under Mourinho. We've definitely got better defensively. And also, Mourinho, he's a draw. Players will want to stay or want to come because of him. Are you telling me if we had Van Gaal, we'd still have De Gea? I know for a fact we wouldn't. We wouldn't have got Pogba. We wouldn't have got Ibrahimovic. But I agree that to an extent that the playing style does need to improve, though. I do agree with that. And we do need to make a lot of improvements in the summer.
Is it something that you look to the next season then?
Definitely, because this season, obviously, if we win the FA Cup, then it'll be, it's always a good trophy to win. But it's been a disappointment because we haven't, challenged for the title, which was the bare minimum if you ask most United fans at the start of the season.
Exactly.
Yeah. You make some good points there, man. I just want to say, has there been a shining light? Has there been a player that you think has really stepped up to the mark for United?
I think there's been a few. Like, Bailly has been great. Obviously, his injuries are a bit of a worry for me because he does seem to get injured quite often. So we definitely need to get another centre back in, I think. Obviously, Marcus Rashford has been awesome.
Yeah. Kaku's been good.
Exactly. Everyone's got on his back, but he's scored near enough 25 goals this season and he's improved as a player. I think buying Alexis Sanchez, I did say this at the time as well, obviously he's a class player, but I wasn't sure he was the right signing. It's like, a square peg in a round hole sort of situation.
It's a difficult one, isn't it, Sanchez? I mean, I still don't know where he fits in the team and if he looks like he's ready for Manchester United, if he looks like he's that sort of player. It's going to be difficult and only time will tell as we go down the line and into next season. Imad, thank you very much for the call. We've got to get through these now, get through them. John's on the line. Evening, John.
Hi, guys.
What are you talking about? Boring football?
Yeah, watching Man United is like watching raindrops falling down your window pane. It's absolute garbage.
Mate. I agree with you. It's not good enough at the minute, and that on Tuesday wasn't good enough. But surely this season is
it's better than we've seen since Fergie.
It's 10 times better than Van Gaal. 10 times better.
The football's not.
Really?
The football is no better than under Van Gaal. It's the same thing, but backwards, sideways, anyway but forward. And we've got defensive headers in that team. Look at Jones. He's a liability, let's face it. He's calamity drain, you know what I mean? You've got Chris Smalling have a brilliant game, one game. The next is garbage. You've got Lindelof, who's never going to be a Man United player. Don't care how much you're going to spend on him. The guy's garbage. It's another Mourinho signing, which is rubbish.
Who do you like? Who do you like?
In the team?
Yeah.
I think McTominay's been brilliant. So I think Jesse's been brilliant this season. Definitely. De Gea has always been brilliant. He was at fault for the second goal, but that's one mistake in how many he's played.
So are you Jose out then, John? Do you want a new change of manager, a new style of play?
What we can't do is we can't end up like Man City, having a manager 18 months and sacking him like they used to.
Exactly.
But the football has got to change. We look at Ashley Young's been brilliant, right? But he's not a right back or a left back. We're not playing. We've got Shaw there who should be playing at left back. I think he's brilliant. When he got his broken leg, he was brilliant for United. And now he doesn't even get in the team. He's not even in the squad. Mata should have played on Tuesday.
Agreed.
Not Fellaini.
Yeah, John, stay there because Dan's on the line, and Dan, Jose stays for you, does he?
Yeah, man, Jose definitely in. I think the progress we made under Jose has been amazing.
So what about John's comments that says the football we're playing is the same under Van Gaal as it is now?
Van Gaal had his credits when I quite liked him. But yeah, his football was really sort of old school, like keep possession. It was really boring along the back line. Mourinho, there's a little bit more emotion in the game. You feel something when he's playing, even if it's a bit defensive and pragmatic. You're sort of on the edge of your seat. You don't know what's going to happen. It's like we've got amazing counter-attacking. I've got to say, Jesse Lingard for me was amazing against Sevilla. Like he was trying to make up for Rashford down the right wing. I think he's like one of our best players. And McTominay though as well. He's like his quality. Just how simple he plays the game.
So I'm guessing, John and Dan, what you're both saying is you've got to make the most of our attacking players.
Why did we play two defensive midfielders in that game? We didn't need to against Seville. Seville are the poorest team in the quarterfinals of that cup. If Man City get them in the next round, it's going to be 8 or 9-0
against Seville.
You think we played a good side, Dan?
No, I think we played a bit of a reserve. I think Jose Mourinho was in his right to be confident.
He sounds like a Man City fan.
When I watched Crystal Palace game, I thought, oh my God, this team's clicked. We're actually going to we're going to actually do something here because, for the first time, we clicked, emotionally, as a team. Not we knew where everyone was. We did. And then again,
the guy's talking rubbish. Come on, man. Come on, you're talking rubbish.
Dan, John.
No, we did. We honestly clicked. We're not like Man City and Liverpool who always play the same starting lineup.
Dan, John, thank you very much for your call. Dan and John, I could listen to them for a while just talking. Both have got the same point. You've got to make sure you make the most of their the attacking like players, and then go from there.
I'm going to do that in an argument tonight with my missus. Just start whistling. Talking rubbish.
John and John, thank you very much for your call there, Dan and John. We can let you know that we won't be talking about Brighton because Full Time Devils, if you're listening in the car and you want to know about Brighton, the Full Time Devils lot did a video. It's online now. It's the Brighton preview to the FA Cup. It's going to be a game United obviously need to win some silverware. I just want a quick prediction from these two gentlemen. Results on the weekend. Do you think United are going to stroll past it? Nothing hard?
I think we've got to bounce back, haven't we, after Tuesday? That's anything. I think if it's not, if we haven't got an early goal, the crowd are going to get on the players' backs, and it could be another Seville over again. So I think for once we're just going to go out all out attack, and I think we'll win comfortably 3-0.
This is when United players prove that they are worthy of Man United. Not when things are going great, but when things aren't going perfectly, and they can get their heads back up and put everything into the game. A big FA Cup game as well. I want to see a big performance from a lot of players.
A big performance. What we can do is thank you very much for watching Full Time Devils and for listening. If you drop us a subscribe as well, and that would be very grateful. Also listen to Excess Manchester if you don't, because we play some cool tunes coming up. The Clash, Queens of the Stone Age, Morrissey, Oasis, good tunes. Wow. We'll be back next Thursday, but keep your eye on Full Time Devils as well. More videos on the way.
The Excess Manchester Football Social. Winning